Hello, hello, hello. Antphrodite here, your pop culture psychic, back to you again with another celebrity reading. This time it's on the highly requested Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. It ends with us movie drama. So if you haven't heard about this, basically people are making a lot of accusations. It's Blake versus Justin, the co-stars. Blake is being accused of changing the narrative from like a DV story to like a rom-com and hiring editors behind his back. And Justin is being accused of like bad-mouthing Blake and hiring Johnny Depp's crisis management to save his image and hate on Blake. And then Ryan Reynolds, I think is her husband, is involved in it. And there's all this. It's crazy. It's insane. You guys have been spamming me to do this, so here it is. I'm going to basically look at both of them and see who's right, who's wrong, and what's going on. So remember, these readings are all alleged for tapers only, and let's get started. Whew, that was long-winded. Remember, if you like these, you can join the YouTube members. There's a $5, $10, and $15 tier. Get access to exclusive readings, exclusive celebrity readings, story times, and you can win a reading from me, too. It's linked down below, $5, $10, $15 tier. I've done so many readings lately on niche topics, and if you want a reading on a niche topic that's like not super popular, join the YouTube members, and you'll have a good chance of me doing it. Okay, so Blake's on the left, Justin on the right. I think these are, okay. So who's telling the truth? Who's telling the truth? Clarification, please. Clarification. Okay. Well, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. Okay. So Blake showed up as the death card reverse, which tells me that when these are all alleged from tapers only, by the way. Blake being the death card reverse tells me that how Blake started is not how she ended. So Blake went into this thinking one thing and came out thinking another. So I think that she agreed to Justin's idea and vision in the beginning. And I think she was fully in support of it. Something changed in the middle of filming for sure. Because the death card is a forced change, which means she was trying to force this to be different. He showed up as the Seven of Cups reversed, which is about being realistic. So for him, I definitely see him trying to be a little bit more realistic, a little bit more cutthroat, perhaps, a little bit more honest. When you look at the Seven of Cups, that's like all in on one aspect. So I'm not really sure, because this drama is kind of confusing to me, but I'm not really sure, but I can tell you like he was all in on one aspect of this film. So I think for her, she was feeling like he was a little bit tunnel visioned. The Eight of Cups is about distance between both of them or walking away. So I definitely feel like they were not on the same page. I think Blake felt like things could evolve and change based off of the chemistry on the show, how things were going, and things like that. And it seems like he was like, no, what I said in the beginning is what it will always be. He's very like one-track mind there, which, I mean, if you have a vision and you agree to the vision, I don't really see why she would feel the need to change that. Now, for clarification, she's the Nine of Swords, which is overthinking and overanalyzing. And the Ten of Swords is a betrayal, and the Chariot is about moving forward. So I do think she went behind his back. I do think she betrayed him. Here's the problem. She was panicked that this would reflect poorly on her. So this is something that I'm not really, I guess I'm not super shocked that a best friend of Taylor Swift is acting like this. She's so afraid of getting canceled, and she was so afraid of drama and so afraid of this movie being perceived incorrectly and hurting her career that she preemptively tried to save it, and in trying to prevent the drama, she caused it. Because this is about your stress and anxiety getting the best of you, your paranoia and fear getting the best of you, and then betraying people because you're trying to save your own ass. And in reality, I don't particularly think that it was necessary. I think if she would have just relaxed and trust his vision, I actually think that this movie would have been perfect and a hit. I think her fear got the best of her, her paranoia got the best of her. And the thing is that once you start in the middle of filming getting paranoid and weird, you kill all the chemistry and then it gets weird. And I think that's what we're seeing with the Knight of Wands on his side, the Nine of Pentacles, which is other people, and the Seven of Pentacles. He feels like everything was comfortable, everything was good, and then you caused chaos. Here's what I'll say. I don't think that he handles challenge or in people challenging him very well. So here's the thing. Do I think that she started this? Yes. Do I think that he's completely innocent? No. I mean, when you have a Knight of Wands, that tells me that he definitely was lashing out in return and definitely getting frustrated at her because he felt like her hands were in his business. And I also think that it started to get to a point where she was rallying other people. Nine of Swords, you're rallying other people around you, and it made him panic. And I don't think that he's the type of person that is good at bringing good favor to those around him and protecting himself. So not only was it very easy to poison the well against him, but I also think he was making it even easier because he was like, oh, really? You're on her side? Like, he was being rude to people that he shouldn't have been rude to. If he would have been kinder to them and nicer to them, they probably would have been on his side. But basically, it's kind of ironic that this is playing out very much like a Gossip Girl episode. I mean, I used to be obsessed with that when I was younger, so it's kind of funny, but this is very Serena van der Woodsen mean girl behavior. However, I'm not saying that I don't understand why she was doing it. There were issues previously before she even wanted to change things. Like, I don't think she liked him. I feel like she was like, I don't actually feel comfortable or safe in your behavior. His methods, Knight of Wands, she feels like his methods could sometimes be a little bit out there. I don't know about the word dangerous, or we got the hiccups, but I would say definitely unconventional. But the thing is that in her being paranoid made it worse. So I think they were kind of just a recipe for disaster. I think both of them kind of just like tons of miscommunications, talking to other people instead of each other, looking for problems, and then creating problems just caused chaos on the set. But I still reiterate that I will say this, and I actually really love Blake Lively, but I'm going to be honest. I do think that if I were to put the start on someone, it's her. I don't know about all the blame, but she started it for sure. The Ace of Swords is upright, the Queen of Cups is reversed, and the Five of Wands. I think that Blake is very used to getting her way, which makes sense, right? She's super famous, super successful, super talented. Her husband's really talented. And so I think she's kind of just used to getting her way. And I think that she tried to pull a few strings for legitimate reasons and some non-legitimate reasons. And I think that because the Five of Wands is like avoidance, the Ace of Swords, Queen of Cups. It's like, I hate to say this because I don't want to label her this, but we all know that white girl tears are super powerful. And so I almost see her kind of like being really good at playing victim in that aspect. Not that I think that she was necessarily manipulative or using that to cause problems, more so using that, I guess I shouldn't say even using it because I don't think it was a conscious manipulative choice. I think that's just who she is. So it's like more so when people see her upset, they want to help her. So I guess she unintentionally damseled herself, and it works in her favor because she's a beautiful white blonde woman. So I don't know. It's hard for me to really fault her for that because, I mean, I do think her feelings were genuine, but it's also like, girl, you know what I mean? You're a big girl now, you know? But I want to reiterate, I don't think that Justin is like completely innocent. So let's not start with that shit. But anyways, King of Cups, Four of Swords reversed, and the Empress reversed. Yeah, to me, this is just about her kind of wanting a little bit more control. I will say that if she does, Empress is reversed, which means that I do think there was a little bit of like, I do think we're going to start to get a narrative of like, I don't like, he was misogynistic, whatever. I'm not saying it's impossible, but what I am saying is I do think that she needs to be careful about potentially weaponizing feminism. Like, I'm a little bit worried about that with the Empress reverse and the King of Cups with the Four of Swords. you know? Like, just be careful. She needs to be careful because I do see a major backlash for her if she's not careful. That's a major backlash of people like you're weaponizing white women feminism. You know how like Twitter really goes on people. I see that for her, so she needs to be very careful because the King of Cups is upright, which tells me that regardless of the things that he's done, regardless of the things that he said, there is sympathy for him. I think the problem here, and it's interesting, it's not even the PR crisis management that he hired. The King of Wands being reversed, the Four of Wands is reversed, the Nine of Cups. I don't really know anything about him. I have no idea who he is. I only knew about him from this. Sorry, I've only known Blake, and like I said, I like Blake. But King of Wands being reversed, Four of Wands reversed, and Nine of Cups tells me that for some reason he's built good favor with others, and for some reason there's like he has a track record for his passions. I don't know what the fuck he's done before, so I guess you'll have to fill me in the comments. But there is some level of like track record that he has to kind of like back him up. And I think, yeah, the 10 of Pentacles, it's like I've been successful before. I've been able to do this before. Temperance and Nine of Wands. You know what's interesting is there's a part of both of them that are kind of like okay with this drama because it's going to make them both money and help them because, you know, all publicity is good publicity. Uh-oh. I don't know what executive Blake Lively pissed off, but she's in trouble. Okay, so this is a little bit separate. This drama pissed off someone who's high up. Tower, World Reverse, and Three of Swords. Someone here is really pissed at her, like high up. An executive is really fucking pissed at her because they're like, what is she fucking doing? Like, they're really pissed. And what's interesting is I think we're going to start to see some tea spill about her relationship. Three of Swords, when it's reversed, is her marriage. And the Tower in the World Reverse tells me that I think they've been protected for a while. I think a lot of their tea has been protected because getting, an interview with Ryan or Blake is worth more than trashing them, right? But I think we're going to start to see people. I mean, I've said this for years. I think people are paid to put out bad articles about people. I think we're going to start to see that happen with Blake and Ryan. But the thing is like, I don't know how untrue it is. I don't know how true they are, but I also don't know how untrue they are because it seems like things that were protected in the past are going to be spilled. And it's really interesting because in a few of my Taylor Swift readings, I had said that they were going to go after her friends. And this is Taylor Swift's best friend. And it looks like I was right because it looks like it's going to happen to her. Queen of Wands being reversed, Queen of Swords reversed, and Knight of Pentacles. I think there's also another person here that she's had a bad experience with, or someone had a bad experience with her. It's interesting because it's like I like Blake, but I think it's one of those things where she's kind of just a very beautiful, tall, successful blonde woman. And, you know, I think when you live in a bubble for a long time, I think sometimes you don't really realize the impact of the things you say and do. And I think that's really what's going on here. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily say that she's a conscious, manipulative individual. I think that's bullshit. I think it's more along the lines of she's a little tone deaf or culturally deaf to some of her actions. You know, it's just someone who goes to Met Gala every year, you know, she's around millionaires, billionaires all the time. Like, I think she's just a little bit out of touch. If I were her and if I were on her team, I would try to make her more relatable. But I don't know if that's possible. So I'm going to kind of leave it there. I hope this wasn't too harsh. I mean, moving forward, I still like Blake. I mean, I'm sure if she sees it, she'll hate me, but girl, I still like you. But I'm able to see here that perhaps your actions were a bit misguided. And for Justin, I mean, I think that he doesn't do himself any favors. Like, I do think he has a temper, and I do think he lashes out. So I'm a little bit concerned about that too. Like, here's what I'll say. He has an outward ego. She has a low-key ego. Like, for her ego is more like, I'm going to go behind the scenes and play games. His is more upfront. So I think it's easier to paint him as the bad guy, where I think both of them have moments where they were the bad guy. So I mean, at the end of the day, the movie's going to do well because of all this drama. So, hey, I guess they both win in the end. All right. So, I hope you guys like that. Join the YouTube members. It's linked down below. Good luck. And until next time, XOXO Gossip Girl.